Welcome to the Purposeful CEO Podcast, the space for passionate, driven leaders who aren't just here to build a business, but to lead a movement. If you're here to make a real impact, to lead with purpose and create a legacy that lasts, then you are in the right place. I'm Emma Campbell, leadership coach, mindset mentor, purpose activator, and mama to two cheeky little munchkins. And for the past 15 years, I've helped small business CEOs scale their team without breaking their culture and unlock their team's full potential. And my mission has always been simple: to help those doing good in the world to do even more good and inspire belief in what's possible for you, because it's all so possible. Let each episode be your reminder to pause from the hustle and come back to you, your why, your purpose, your reason for why you started, to trust that inner knowing and to lead from that place, because when you do, everyone wins. Let's dive in. Well, welcome to episode 1 of the new and improved Purposeful CEO podcast. And I'm so excited to bring this episode to you, which is all about purposeful organizations and why they are the most successful on the planet, what that actually means and what all of that looks like, and also how to understand whether you are a purposeful CEO and what that term even means and encapsulates. Because my belief and knowing is that if you are here, I am celebrating the bejesus out of you, because I know that you would not be listening to this podcast if you weren't a purposeful CEO, someone who cares, someone who has a big giant heart, someone who wants to make a difference in this world. And the fact that you are here and listening just tells me that you are ready to step into your fullest potential when it comes to your own leadership and the work that you're doing here. So welcome and thank you for being here. Before we jump in, for any new listeners, I thought I would give you a really quick update on who the hell I am and where I've been. So you know that my name is Emma. You probably know that I've got 2 little kids who are 4 and 6. So the eldest is Oscar and he's 6, and my little one is Hazel and she's 4. We have actually just recently returned from a 7-month incredible caravan adventure, cruising around Australia and enjoying all of the richness and rawness and amazingness that this incredible country has to offer. So yes, we went to absolutely every state. We started off in Perth. We headed north through Carragini, Broome, the Gibb River Road, up through Cape Leveque and the Northern Territory, Litchfield National Park. We even saw this guy called Mr. Whippy, who no, is not an ice cream van driver, but actually like the world record holder for cracking the whip, and who actually asks for like song requests from the audience, and who then whips his whips to the beat of the songs. Honestly, that was a real highlight. Like, that was an experience, and my little boy Oscar is just like so inspired to now become a whip cracker. And I think it has just like opened his eyes to this career that he didn't even know existed. And he asked for a whip for the entire rest of the trip, which was hilarious. Anyway, I digress. We went all the way around the top of Australia through Queensland, all the way up to the top near Cape Trib, hung out with a few crocodiles, which was very deeply uncomfortable. We went down New South Wales, went through Canberra, took the ferry across to Tassie. Got a little bit of slight seasickness because we actually took the caravan on the ferry and it was like a 12-hour trip. We went through Victoria and the Great Ocean Road and all of the beautiful forests there. We cruised through South Australia and ate some of the biggest oysters that I've ever seen, and just went to beach after beach after beach. Didn't get eaten by any great white sharks, which was a real benefit, a real positive, and slowly made our way home. And that was oh my God, it was about a month ago, which is just wild to think how much has happened in the last month since we got back, because the kids have started school. So Hazy's in kindy, Oscar's in year one, and let's just say we went from like pure excitement to slight overwhelm coming home and having all these things to catch up on, and school forms to fill, and houses to set back up, and businesses to get back on track. So if you are there with me in the flurry and the craziness of the start of the year, then I'm feeling you, and I'm so right there with you, because there's a lot, right? Like if you are a parent and a leader and perhaps even a business owner, like I get it. There's things like there are things to be on track of, right? Or to keep on track of. And we're feeling like we're back in the flow now, which is really nice. And one of the things, the reason why I share that with you is that while we were away, so I took the business with me. I probably worked maybe like sort of 5 to 10 hours a week, mainly focused on coaching sessions and just keeping things really simple. And while we were away, because I had so much time to kind of reflect and to think about my purpose and my mission and my legacy, and like what is the work that I really stand for in this world. And I don't know about you, but I can find myself like, obviously, I stand for purpose, and it's like a really big part of my work because it's had such an impact for me. And more on that in episode 2, where I actually share my story. But if you're anything like me, I can find myself kind of getting like a little bit pulled to and fro, in and out of purpose. I can feel really, really anchored and strong and connected to who I am, my mission, what I stand for, my legacy, what I'm here to create. And then life can be lifing. And I can kind of feel pulled in a million different directions. And like, the kids are calling, and clients are having a big week, or my friends or my family need me, or maybe I've got some stuff going on. And sometimes you can kind of like lose sight and lose connection to that bigger reason, that bigger piece, that bigger purpose of why you're here and what it is that you're actually working for. And I don't know about you, but if there is one thing that makes the biggest difference for me, it is coming back into alignment with that vision, with that why, with that reason, with that purpose. And when I'm grounded in that, it's like everything comes back into clarity. Everything feels more seamless. Everything feels more easeful. I feel like I'm in flow. And my belief is that that's about us coming back into our truth, that's about us coming back into our, if you want to use the word soul, or if you want to use the word heart, I believe it's just about coming into that core essence of who you are and what you stand for and the work that you're here to do in this world. And I believe that everyone has a reason for why that they're here. And that this podcast is all about helping people come back to that. Remember that, to kind of like take a second from pausing from the rat race and the flurry and the hustle to actually reconnect back to that. So that's what I wanted this podcast to be all about, is, while we're on our caravan trip, that was some of the clarity that came through for me, was that if I am here for a particular reason, that's what it is. It's about helping people realign with their purpose. And that's where That's where the rebrand for the podcast came from. That's where the name it came from. That's where kind of like the new messaging came from. It's just like helping me recenter on what that mission is for me and knowing the impact that it is. Because while I've been in business now for probably about 6 years, so I started my business when my little Oski was born. Um, since then, the business has evolved in different ways, kind of in terms of like the services and like maybe the how I work. But the one thing that has never, ever, ever changed is the why. It's the purpose piece. That is the thing that has just never shifted for me. The moment that I learnt about it, the moment that I unlocked it for myself, was the moment that that kind of purpose became alive and activated and shifted into my work. And so I just see this next iteration of the podcast as that next evolution of how I can now help purposeful CEOs bring more of their purpose work to life and bring it out in their teams so that their teams can do better work, so that their teams and their organizations can have a bigger impact on the world. Because I'm clearer than ever about who I want to serve and how I can maximize my impact. And it's about partnering with those leaders of teams, leaders of missions, the ones who really care about their people, about their impact. They are the ones that are already on a mission to do good, and that my part in that is just helping them do even more good. So let's start there. So you might actually be wondering, like, or do I constitute a purposeful CEO? Like, what is a purposeful CEO actually? And I want to be really clear that a purposeful CEO is not just a CEO. It could be a leader, it could be a business owner, it could be a manager, it could be a team leader, a practice manager, a general manager, an entrepreneur, a coach, a creative, a consultant. The only thing that really matters there is that you know that you're on a mission. You're not just here in this whole business, in this whole like leadership thing as a box ticking exercise. You've got a giant heart. You really, actually, truly care about making a difference and making an impact. And you actually care so much that sometimes this whole like empathy and heart and care thing can get in the way for you. More on that in future episodes. But for you, you're here and you're a purposeful CEO. If for you, it's more than just about the dollars, it's more than just about the bucks. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of the bucks. The bucks are fantastic. We need the bucks to keep our businesses going. We need the bucks and we need the profit because that's what fuels us being able to do our purpose work and grow our purpose work and to fuel our life experience here, right? But for you, that's not the heart of why you do what you do. A really well-known management consultant, author, and leader, Peter Drucker, said, profit is like oxygen. You need it to survive, but if you think that oxygen is the purpose of your life, then you're missing something. I'm going to say that one more time. Profit is like oxygen. You need it to survive, but if you think that oxygen is the purpose of your life, then you're missing something. Right? Great quote, right? For you, you know this already. It's for you, like, work is about giving back. It's about contribution. It's about doing some form of good in the world. It's about helping others, being of service, feeling part of something bigger, feeling like you're actually making a difference in someone else's life, like doing something meaningful. You are a purposeful CEO if you want to feel like your life has made an impact and that you feel like you're part of something bigger. That's who the purposeful CEO is for. The ones that are here on a mission to do good, to make a difference, and they're driven by something deeper within. Some might call it the heart, others call it the soul. It's a place that when you're tapped into it, you feel your most alive, lit up, on fire, unstoppable. You feel the most like you are yourself, Like there's a fire and a burning within you that just won't stop. And I think you know what I mean by that. So if that's what purpose is all about, is being driven by something bigger than you, purpose is about giving back in some sort of way, what would the opposite of purpose be? So if purpose is about serving others, then the opposite of purpose would be an over focus on serving yourself and serving your own gain and becoming quite fixated on your own internal sort of ego, or like some of those more ego driven desires like status and wealth and all of those sort of things. And don't get me wrong, we all play there sometimes. I'm embarrassed to say how many times I've been stuck in ego land, and we all know that that's like what makes us human, and it comes often from a place of like fear and protection and all of those sort of things. And I think that it's really important for our, time in this life that we find a way out. That when we're caught up in ego land, that we're caught up in kind of fear and self-protection and like personal drivers and gain, that we need to find a way that we can realign back to what matters, that we can realign back into our soul, our purpose work. And that's what I want this podcast to be about, is for me to be able to share some of these learnings that I've found over the last 15 years of being in this space, and for this podcast to be a place to help you recenter into your purpose work when the hustle, when the pressures, when the noise, when the rat race, which is real, right? When that kind of pulls you out, I want this podcast to be a place that pulls you back in. And I guess that begs the question of like, why? Why does purpose even matter? Why does it matter that we come back into this place of like alignment and knowing and truth about like why we're here and what we're doing? Like, why do we actually even need purpose-led leaders in this world? So my research and what I've found has shown me that employees are more disengaged, depressed, and burnt out than ever before. And my belief is that people are looking, and actually the research shows this, it's not just my belief, people are looking for more than just money as a reward for what they do. What they're looking for has changed as well. People aren't just looking for a stable job that pays the bills. They might say that, but the truth is that people want and they're craving more meaningful work. People want to feel like they're making a difference, that they're doing something that matters. And the research shows, and I've done a lot of research on this, I would quite easily call myself a purpose expert. The research shows that purposeful organizations are the ones getting this right. And that they're experiencing the benefits of this, of being the most successful on the planet. So let me give you some incredible, mind-blowing stats. Purpose-led organizations attract 7 times more top talent than the non-purpose-led ones. They are 10 times higher performing. They attract 92% more aligned consumers. They grow 4 times faster. They're 6 times more profitable than the profit-driven ones. Just let that one sink in. Purpose-led organizations are 6 times more profitable than the profit-driven ones. And my personal favorite is that purpose-led leaders are 64% more fulfilled in their work. And if you're going to be working, we're at work for like more than 80% of our lives, right? If you're going to be working, you might as well be bloody fulfilled in the process, right? You might as well be enjoying what you're doing. So I invite you to reflect on why this is. Like, why do you think that these organizations, these purpose-led organizations that are led by a strong sense of purpose and where they're headed and what they're here to do, why are they the most successful organizations on the planet? Why do you think they do so much better than the profit-driven ones? Perhaps it's because their employees actually care about the work that they do. So they actually go the extra mile for their customers. Maybe it's because the A-grade talent are attracted to these passionate, values-led teams and leaders who actually have an inspiring mission that they feel born into, that lights them up and attracts them in. Maybe it's because their customers feel more trust for these purpose-led organizations and they feel more trust in what they're selling, so they're more willing to want to do business with them, to kind of stay loyal to them and to perhaps even spread the word to others. Maybe it's because their employees are driven by something more than because my boss wants me to do it. Maybe they're actually tapped into a higher sense of meaning and purpose that connects to something deep within their hearts, within their limbic, their emotional brains, which brings out a more elevated sense of self and performance. Maybe it's because their employees are less depressed, more resilient, happier, more engaged, and less burnt out, which means less sick days, less turnover, and less toxic cultures. Intuitively, this makes so much sense, right? The power of being led by a purpose, a really clear purpose, and why, it makes absolute sense. Despite this, few companies are tapping into the benefits of purpose. And my belief is that everyone should know about the power that purpose can have on their organizations and their workplace. This should not stay a hidden secret that only a few modern, progressive thinkers have tapped into and realized the benefits of. Everyone should know, because it's such a win-win for everyone involved. Individuals win because they're happier, they're more fulfilled, they're more engaged in their work. Teams and organizations win because they're higher performing, they're more profitable, and they grow faster. And the world and the planet wins because when you've got purpose-led teams doing even better work, making more of an impact, then the world and the planet wins because it's getting to experience the positive impacts of these purpose-led organizations' positive work. Right? It's like a win-win everywhere. I'm just how does everyone not have this? We need to make sure everyone knows this stuff. So that's what this podcast and my work is all about, is sharing the tips, the secrets, the wisdom that I've learned along the last 15 years, that I've learned through both research as well as personal and practical experience, and connecting you as well. So what I'm going to be doing is bringing thought leaders from all around the world onto this podcast. So connecting you to these thought leaders who can also inspire you, uplift you, and expand your sense of what's possible along your own journey. I'm so excited to share all of these episodes with you. Oh my God, my voice went very high pitched there. You can tell how excited I am. I know you're going to enjoy and just get so much out of each and every one of these episodes. The next episode is going to be about my purpose story, and I think you'll find it an interesting one, and hopefully you'll see a little bit of yourself in there somewhere. Until then, I will look forward to connecting with you. Lots of love. Thank you so much for listening. If you got value from this episode, I've got a little request for you. Either share it with a fellow leader who you know needs this in their life, or leave a super quick review. It only takes a few seconds, yet it helps us so much in expanding our reach and our impact and bringing on even bigger names onto the potty to then inspire your growth and your journey. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you in advance, and I can't wait to see you next time.